Check it out. There he goes. I didn't expect that. Well, if you're familiar with Japan, you might know where I'm standing. Behind me here is Matsumoto Castle, Japan's oldest surviving castle, and, as I found out in a series of interviews I did recently, about the only thing that people know about Matsumoto when they come to visit. And it's also seems to be about the only thing that people know about Matsumoto when it's time for them to leave. And that's because so much of Matsumoto's history and so much of Matsumoto's story is hiding out in plain sight. The castle moat is actually a perfect example. You might be able to guess as to why it's so wide. It had to do with guns. But this wide moat gives Matsumoto Castle something no other castle in Japan has. And you're looking right at it. Here in the castle's inner gardens, you're going to see these black tiles zigzagging through the grass all the way around. And there's a reason for those. It involves the castle lord, fire, and tempura. And who are these guys with me here? Well, it's because of these two that we have Matsumoto Castle. And all over the castle grounds are these white boxes with the funky insignias. What are they all about? And this alleyway down here, this is not just some alleyway. That alleyway and the water running through it has something to do with the name of the neighborhood. This street here is curved because of what that alleyway once was. And what that alleyway once was also made this intersection a very important part of the story of Matsumoto Castle. And by the way, you're going to see these fountains all over town. There's a story behind these too. And is this water okay to drink? Oh yeah. And those fountains that you see all over downtown are related to the Metsuba River here that runs through the old castle town. The fountain water doesn't come from the river. The river actually exists because of those fountains. And just outside the castle, there's a tea house. See it? That little opening below the window is actually the door. There's a reason it's so small. And if you come across a rock with a string like this, you'll want to know what to do. こんにちは。すいません。初心者でお恥ずかしいんですけども。どうしますか？ここに差し上げたいと思います。This place is absolute magic. I just walked in and a lady in a kimono appears and hands me some green tea and some Japanese sweets. Tells me to take my time and enjoy. Like I need to be told that. I love this place. Out here, east of downtown Matsumoto, you'll find a lot of rice, wheat, soba, grapes, and one guy over there with a noisy weed whacker. Out here is also a big part of Matsumoto's story, because Matsumoto Castle, not the original name by the way, was not the first castle in Matsumoto, or the second, or the 3rd, or the 4th, or even the 5th. There were a whole slew of castles in this area, most of them built and then lost to flooding and fighting and a little bit of feng shui. It's a really good story. Before any of that happened, came this pile of rocks back here. It may not look like much, but it's been around since the 5th century. By the way, if you like cycling, I know a place. Of all the castles that used to stand in this area, all that's left now are some rock walls and some ruts in the dirt. But the story of Matsumoto lives on. The family who ruled this area since the early 1300s, they're still here. Tucked into these foothills is the family temple, run now by the 30th and 31st generations of the family. And when it starts getting hot, I know a great place to cool off. Hello, Matsumoto! Back here in downtown Matsumoto, we find this T intersection. And about 400 years ago, these roads were nothing but footpaths. But where these footpaths came from and where they went and what they were used for really get to the heart of what Matsumoto was and why it was such an important city in this region. Today, we have the added bonus of having a craft brewery right inside. So, if you come on down, we can get a beer and we can talk about it. Alright, I'm gonna have to apologize and say maybe I don't give people who visit Matsumoto enough credit. I know I said most people don't know anything about the town except the castle, but there are a fair number of people who have heard about this place. This is Nawate Dori, a pedestrian alley also known as Frog Street. It's a great place to take a stroll and take in the Matsumoto vibe, although most people don't know why it's called Nawate Dori or Frog Street. And that's another story I've got for you. So when you come on down to Matsumoto, we visit the castle, of course, come down to Nawate Dori, tell you why it's Frog Street, tell you so many other things about Matsumoto that you really don't know just by looking around. Because like I said, most of Matsumoto is hiding in plain sight. Hey, why is this street curved?